What's up, Frost? We are back, baby. We are back. We are back. We are back. All right. Is it working? There we go. All right. Let's go. Let's go. No face cam. Face cam coming. Face cam coming. I'm getting all this stuff set up on my end. Actually, I'll just do it now. Boo! I did not fix this behind me. There we go. There we go. Whew. All right, we're going to record our voiceover for the video. Let's do it. Welcome back. Our night started out slow. We had a few conversations here and there, some that we just simply can't show here. And honestly, it started to feel a little discouraging. Until we met these guys. Our whole night turned around right here. This is Cowboy TJ with Copper State Riding Club. This man on his horse asked an amazing question, but he wasn't satisfied with it being answered on the ground. He insisted that I hop on MJ. But wait, you need context. We ran into this lady not once, not twice, but 3 times. Each time she asserted that I straighten out my beard. This sort of baseless accusation I will simply not stand for. This conversation is legitimately important. Pay close attention. Great conversation. Definitely check these guys out. As we continued on our walk, we ran into a group of people that asked what we were filming. In that talk, this gentleman made a joke about spending his last penny on his last day of life. We decided to open the conversation up, and man, it was amazing. Thank you for watching. These were 2 long talks. Friday's video will be more quick hit style. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. All right, we got that there. Let's go ahead and send it. Old Town episode 2. Boo. Put it in voiceovers. There we go. Yo, what's up, Michelle? Do you have your watermark on your cam because it's blocking that big, beautiful beard? I do. Let me remove that. Which one is it? Which one is it? Whoo! It's a cool banner, huh? I also have it as my starting soon. Pew, pew. All right, I need to figure out where this banner is. RIP 6-pack starting. How was the vacation? It was busy. It was busy. It was cool. Boom. There we go. See you later, logo. Not hiding the beard now. But the whole time I was off was awesome. It was crazy, but it was super fun. All right. Did my voiceover. You guys actually got to hear it. That'll be in the next video. And I don't know if you know this, Frost, but this is the week. My friend's wedding is in Mesa next January? Yo, where? Is it the Secret Garden? No, not the Secret Garden. Yeah, I'll be down for that, Michelle. Oh, we get in the stretch. It's been a while since Jason. Let's hit the stretch. Although it's not going to be able to be seen. Here we go. Oh yeah, stretch those shoulders out. All right, give me 1 sec. Okay. Yes. I'm 100% down to run 10 mans. 100% down to run 10 mans. Let's do it. All right. You let me know the time and place, Michelle, and we run it. And we run it. We got Michelle, Frost, Jay, me, Soft, Wiz, Yuli. And then we maybe need, what? Maniac? Who else we got? I doubt Riz will play. Did I already say Wiz? Probably get cozy. I'm sure Michelle has friends. Ooh, what's up, Free Advice Girl? What's up, Free Advice Girl? Is it weird seeing me on stream again, Free Advice Girl? It does seem impossible. It feels like my nights now are me getting channels up to date. Boom. Okay. Yo, what's up, Brazo? Let's comb that beard. Let's comb it. Let's get a full-on view of it, too. Who is that? Rolo? Hey, homie, I checked your videos. Seems like you are new in Kick, not yet affiliated and verified. I got a proposal for you by sharing your stream to a Kick community for you to gain 1,000 active audience and earn nothing less than 1,000 while streaming. Add me on Discord. Are you real, Rolo? Are you a real person? Hit like crack. Welcome back. What's up, Soft? What's up, Soft? What's up, Brightstone? Tell him to add me. I'm friends with his Nigerian prince brother. Hey, Brightstone. If you have any questions, Brightstone, I am a free financial advisor. I'm a certified financial planner professional. So if you have questions, I'm here to help, baby. And if you want, you could join the Patreon for free. This is actually an update for everybody. The budget spreadsheet on Patreon is now included for free members as well. So anybody who wants a for free, wait, Stream Elements, how did that happen? Let's go into Stream Elements and edit that. Twitch. Support the mission for $free. There we go. Updated. All right. I think we're good on Stream Elements now. When you say financial advice, what kind of questions do you? I'm new to the subject. So it could be anything. We could talk about budgeting all the way through investing for certain goals. So literally any financial question. It could be, hey, what should I invest in for retirement? Hey, what's the first step to financial success? How much of an emergency fund should I have? What should my goals look and sound like? What do I do when my life changes? All that sort of stuff. Yo, look, if I make an app website using that budget spreadsheet, how would you feel? I think it would be awesome, Frost. I think it would be awesome. Well, that's not quite a financial question, Bright. Not quite. Yes, sir. That's what all my videos are about as well. This is the video we released today. It's shorter. Yo, I'm not logged into my own chat. That's weird. Yo, that would be so sick, Frost. Okay, but for real, how do I log into this thing? Have an account, log in. That's weird. That's weird. Let's Twitch. Is this my password? I don't even know. Let's see. Okay, now I got to go to the Authenticator app. One sec here. Maybe it tripped out. There we go. Welcome to the chat. Boom. There we go. There we go. Join Patreon for free. All right, Call, you're out. Ban. All right, this is probably way too early to say this, but none of the bots are in here right now. Is anybody excited about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? Well, that one, hold on. Those sort of bots I'm okay with. I'm talking about the bots that just send me emojis. Healing Whisper, like whatever the name is, bro. There will always be certain types of bots. I just want the bots who knew my channel. So hopefully being gone for over a month will get me off of whatever the bots were. And I don't know if you heard as well, Soft, but today is the day that everything changes. We're going 3 long form per week, 3 short form per day. Jay and I are queuing, so I'll be watching periodically. Sounds good, brother. Good luck. I hope you get back to immortal, unless you're already immortal. If you're already immortal, I just hope you get past 75 RR, brother. Yo, what's up, Yuli? Going out to lunch. Just came in. Hello? Hello? Sounds good, Yuli. Okay, close all this stuff. Soft. That go live notification. It's like crack. You got me giggling, bro. Ooh, what's up, Wiz? Thanks, man. I'm hoping this will, if I'm not talking or doing anything on stream, that this will help people. We did forget to make it more taught. We will be doing that soon. We will be doing that soon. We have a new type of short form content coming out tonight, Wiz. You could kind of call it like a commercial. Interested to see what happens. All right, let's see what these markets did today. Let's see. All right, U.S. markets down today. Gold up. Even on a down day in the market, look at these. Man, Petco. Man, I haven't looked at these in a month. It reinforced how not important these are for me. U-Haul at a 52-week low. Alphabet. Let's look at Europe. Europe was kind of flat day. Oh wait, wow, the Hang Seng. Nikkei down, the Hang Seng up. National housing emergency, interesting. Man, CEO getting mixed up with a subordinate, huh? Yo, let's go. Marcus, is this from, are you the guy I've been talking to the last couple of days? Hey. All right, so we have a couple of options here, Marcus. Do you want to talk on a Discord call, or would you prefer to type your messages in chat? I leave it up to you, my brother. Give me one sec. I need to grab a drink. Be right back. All right, sounds good. Wait, I'm making some food right now, so I can't type for now. Oh, can. All right, go ahead and type your first question, and then we'll go from there. Just know I'm going to have questions on your questions, so just know that. But I'll try and give information at the same time. I will be right back after I get my drink. All right, let's go. Hey, Marcus, I'm also on YouTube and Kick if you prefer. 23K in my Roth as a 19-year-old. What a G. 20K in my brokerage, which is 3K blue chip stocks, 7K index funds. 43 in cash right now. Okay, first of all, at 19, you're in a great spot, Marcus. I had nowhere near this amount at 19. So, looking at your Roth, my only issue, I like the 500 index fund, but it's only 500 stocks. I'm actually more of a fan of VTI, or the total stock market index fund, because you have small and mid cap stocks in there as well, as opposed to just the 500 largest. The thought process behind that is there's less runway for large cap stocks to go. They're already the biggest. How much more running are they going to do? For the last 10 years, it's been insane. But historically, small and mid cap have, especially small, has outperformed mid and large. So just something to think about there. In your brokerage account, having stocks is okay. I generally don't like individual stocks because when you own an individual stock, one, you're taking on more risk by owning that individual position. Yeah, isn't that right, Bright? Dude, that's so good for Marcus there, dude. All right. And then when it comes to your cash, Marcus, some of that can be okay if you know your expenses. You want to have some cash sitting on the side. You want to figure out your basic living expenses. If you don't have a budget sheet, join my Patreon. It's free, and you get access to my budgeting. Hey, look, it just popped up. I did not even time that. If you join my Patreon, there is a free budget spreadsheet available to you. And the reason that's important is you want to have, I would say at minimum, 6 months of basic living expenses. I like 12 months because I'm more of a conservative guy. But that's the next thing that you want to be thinking about, Marcus, is do you have an emergency fund? I just got paid back some cash from my dad. That's why I have so much right now. Right now I get 5% on it. I'm in college right now in my last year and have all my expenses covered and an emergency fund. Marcus, I love this, my brother. I love what I am hearing. So, other than what I gave you with the difference between, say, the 500 index fund and the total stock, do you want me to talk more about the blue chips? Because if you own stock, what you're essentially hoping for is that they will outperform the entire rest of the market. You're also taking what is called concentration risk by having money in individual stocks. So generally, I tell people if you're going to own individual stocks, they should be what, not necessarily value from a how they're rated, but because they are low price right now. Like in April, Tesla went down to 241. I was telling people then that it would be a good time to buy. But most of my individual stock when I was 14. It's at 29 right now and has 3 or 4% dividend. Okay. And do you own that? So here's the main problem with owning that in a taxable account. If you own any sort of funds that are for dividends or stocks that are for dividends, right now your income is as low as it's probably ever going to be. But imagine 10 years from now when you're making a good amount of money, these stocks that are paying dividends inside of your taxable account, that gets added to your taxable income, increasing your tax liability for the year. So owning VTI or the 500 index fund, those also pay some dividends, but generally it's on a lesser percentage base than on the individual securities. But that is a pretty good return so far. But right now, there's a trend going on with investing that people are looking for dividend funds and they're trying to stack their dividends so that they can essentially quit their job. So they own dividend funds inside of their taxable account, hoping that it'll eventually get to the point that it's enough income to replace their income. But while they're working, they're essentially doubling their income all the time, and it's a lot of extra taxes. So just something to consider there as well. But I would say overall, Marcus, there's nothing crazy wrong with the way you're investing. For tax and diversification reasons, I would make changes to your portfolio, either where I locate the assets or what I invest in overall. But yours are not terribly bad. And Bright, how are you investing that 2000? What am I going to do with my excess cash outside of emergency fund and expenses? I've considered putting a small amount in Bitcoin and putting some in total market funds, but wasn't sure if I should have most of my money in the stock market or if I should invest some in other places. This is a great question, Marcus. This is one of the highest priority questions of our time. I'm going to give you a strategy that is not my strategy, but I'm still going to talk it through. There's another channel on Twitch. They're called Alpha Exchange. They think everybody should own at least 0.1 Bitcoin. And the reason for that is they think in the next 20, 30 years, it's going to go to 20 or 30 million a coin. And it might. But you also have to remember it could go to zero because there is no intrinsic value when it comes to Bitcoin. It only has a value because people say it has a value. Whereas when you invest in stocks, you're investing in companies. And those companies have intrinsic value, the company itself, that you are investing in. So if you do that 0.1 Bitcoin and just leave it to the side, I would essentially look at it as your money that if it goes to zero, it won't cripple you. But if it goes to 20 or 30 million in the next 20, 30 years, that's 2 to 3 million in Bitcoin that you can have in the next 2 to 3 years. Other than that, if you're going to invest more into stocks, I would say VTI so that you can get exposure to small and mid cap. Okay, a couple questions. So if I were to liquidate some of my Roth IRA 500 index funds and turn some of it into VTI, this is a great question. Inside of your IRA, you can buy, sell anything, and you pay no gains. It's if you withdraw the funds from the IRA. Now, and there's an early withdrawal penalty because of your age. One thing to know about a Roth is you can always pull out the contributions tax-free. has the VTI outperformed the S&P, or is it kind of matched in how? Yeah, this is a great question. Let's see if we can get a comparison on them. So let's pull up VTI, and we'll do VOO. VOO. So one thing to remember here, we'll go over performance, but just remember that short-term performance is not how I would base this. I base these on for the next 10, 20, 30 years, and I believe VTI will outperform the 500 index fund. But over the last 10 years, the 500 index fund has outperformed the total stock market. So for 5 years, the total stock market is up 79%, and the 500 index fund is up 84%. So it's up 5% more over the last 5 years. Let's look at it at 1 year. 15.56, 15.41. Year to date, 9.41 to 963. 10.24, 10.29. Okay, over the last 6 months, VTI has outperformed the 500 index fund. That must mean small and mid cap has done better over the last 6 months. Let's look at it the 1 month. 157 to 179. 5 days. And 1 day. All right. So it's more about why you own it. If you understand why you own it, that's the most important part. So don't let me, even though I do recommend for most people switching from the 500 index fund to VTI, it has to give you peace of mind, Marcus. So even though I'm saying to do this, you have to feel good about your decision. So if you go to VTI because it has small and mid cap, you got to feel good about that change. Because are you going to, if you make that change and the 500 index fund continues to outperform the total stock market, will you have regretted it? What about 20 years from now, 30 years from now, right? Those are the things you want to be basing it on. I like VTI again because it has more diversification and it has small and mid cap stocks. So the performance is very close to each other, but in long term, I believe small and mid cap will eventually do what small and mid cap do, and that's outperform the bigger stocks. That makes sense. I'd definitely be interested in investing some of my money into VTI or converting some of my shares into VTI. In your opinion, would you completely switch over to VTI to get all the smaller micro grow, mid cap as well, or do you think I should diversify it and be somewhere like half and half? Well, if you go half and half, that means you'll actually be very overweighted, because right now VTI is like 80% S&P 500. Here, let's actually take a look at VTI here. So watch this. I don't think I have the Vanguard. Of course not. Vanguard.com. Let's look up VTI. How is VTI not even in their products list here when you type it? What is that? All right, let's look at the portfolio composition. Can we not find mid and small cap on here? But either way, if you compare VTI to the 500 index fund, I would bet you that the top 10 holdings are pretty much the same. It's just going to be a lesser percentage of the fund. I thought there was a way to look at small and mid cap in this, but it does not look like you can. Interesting. Okay, well, either way, the 500 index fund and VTI are like 80% the same thing. Hold on, we could probably actually compare. Let's take a look. Yes, I would like to compare, please. Thank you. Compare ETFs. Let's look up. Oops. VOO. All right, there we go. Let's take a look at these. I don't know if this is going to give us what we want exactly, but we can at least take a look at them. I should buy a proportion and amount each of stocks so that I can own around 50% large cap. It's actually like 80-20. 80% large cap, 20% mid and small cap. If you want to have mid and small cap and you just want to fill in the gap, you want to look for something called the extended market index. The extended market index is mid and small cap, and the 500 index fund is large cap. So if you put about 20% into the extended market, you'll have proportionately the total stock market index fund, with your 500 index fund being 80%, your extended market being 20%. That is essentially the total stock market. All right, so look at this. Just to give you, these are the top 10 funds in VTI and VOO. Notice they are almost exactly the same. For some reason, Tesla is higher in one than the other, but otherwise they have the same 10 holdings. And then just to be direct with you, yes, I do recommend that for people to get more broadly diversified, spread out their risk, and increase their long-term earning potential. The problem is, just to be upfront with you, what if the 500 index fund or large cap outperforms small and mid cap forever? I don't think that'll happen, but what if it does? If I had all my investable money together, I have about 83,000 right now outside of expenses and emergency fund. I like being in the stock market and having that passive growth, and I don't mind the ups and downs in the market right now because I'm not in a hurry. But I've also heard some people say how it's good to have some amounts in Bitcoin and precious metals and eventually in real estate as well. So I agree. Bitcoin, because of what I said earlier, and that there's no intrinsic value, to me, Bitcoin still feels a lot like gambling. It has value because people say it has value. There is no intrinsic value underneath giving it the value it has. With that being said, it could still do insane returns. I always like having more diversification. So I don't own Bitcoin right now, not because I'm against it, but because it's not easy with passphrases, sites to take it to, all that sort of stuff. But I do own gold and silver and real estate. And I'm not necessarily recommending anything, but if you look up a security called CEF, Sprott Physical Gold and Silver, it's a Canadian company, and when you buy it, you own the metals as well. So I do agree that you should diversify as much as possible. You just want to think about how much you have in what. Is there a proportion that I should consider for that? If interest rates are reasonable, I probably like to buy a house or duplex of some sort in the next probably 7 years or less. But if it's smart to have some diversity and put some smaller amounts in precious metals, so you got to think about why you own precious metals. You are a young man. Gold has been absolutely killing it for the last, I don't know, 2 years. It's been kind of insane. But generally, people own precious metals as an inflation hedge. But that's also what stocks are for. So there's not necessarily a proportion I would recommend for that, because once you start owning real estate, it will skew the percentages anyway. But generally, I start with 90% of your money being in your traditional stocks, bonds, depending on your allocation, and then 10% of your money being in other stuff. All right. So I threw a lot at you. What sort of questions you got? Think I'll probably invest the future money I make into VTI for a while and convert some of my shares into VTI. Is that enough with stocks, or would you recommend looking into that extended market? Well, so I wouldn't necessarily sell if it's in a taxable account, Marcus. I wouldn't sell out of positions you hold, especially if you can build around them. So if you own the 500 index fund inside of your taxable account, I would actually move some money into the extended market. That way you have the full market. If it's inside of your Roth, then for ease, I would probably sell out of the 500 index fund and buy VTI. Yeah, I would. If you want to, you could literally just move about 5,000 into the extended market. Keep the other 18 in the 500 index fund. Move 5,000 of it or 4,600 of it into the extended market and call it good. Or if you just want to make it easy, move it into VTI. But I just wouldn't own VTI and the 500 index fund at the same time. There is a lot of crossover there. I'll look into switching some of my Roth shares over soon. I'll also probably invest close to 35, 40K of my cash as well and could allocate a small amount into precious metals and potentially 1,000 or something into Bitcoin. That works, man. So Bitcoin is it's tough as somebody. A lot of people today are either fully in the Bitcoin camp or fully against Bitcoin. I'm somewhere in the middle. Um, I think having some Bitcoin as you're essentially buying it because the potential is crazy is totally okay. But just remember, it could lose anything. Like I read I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but I read a thing that Satoshi or whatever his name was, who created it, that once all the coins are mined, they're just gonna poof disappear. I doubt that, but that was a online thing, or that was a story I read online. A bit torn on Bitcoin as well. My neighbor is a partner at KPMG. Okay, and he's like totally bought in on it like 10 years ago, so we've seen a lot of growth. But I also know some people like my dad who put a lot of money in real estate and don't really trust Bitcoin. Nobody likes to hear this on the Bitcoin side, but Bitcoin is essentially nothing. Your dad is correct. Bitcoin is essentially nothing. It is floating based on how people feel. That's it. It is not based on anything. Nothing. So I 100% get people being skeptical of Bitcoin and not wanting Bitcoin. I 100% understand that. Right? Real estate, you actually own the home or the land, right? Things like that. Whereas, there's nothing in Bitcoin. All right, let's see what else is going on here. So, just real quick, Bitcoin could go to $1 bajillion. It's absolutely possible. But I do think there's a chance it'll go to zero. I don't know. Global Flight View. Welcome, Global Flight View. Why is it showing me you followed twice? Oh, bro, there's no way. Unless all governments group up to crown a coin or global currency, I doubt Bitcoin is getting dethroned. That's a really good point, Bright. I mean, there are some countries right now, I believe Venezuela, has used them as Bitcoin as a reserve. Ban me now, bro. Windy weather live. Flight track embed, bro. Open Sky Explorer. Account created August 25. Thousands of percent in growth, or is it more worth it to allocate it into more stable investments like the stock market? So I don't want to make it this dramatic, Marcus, but I would look at Bitcoin sort of like gambling, right? Would you ever buy a lottery ticket or lottery tickets, right? The Bitcoin has more of a chance than lottery tickets, but this is just more for the example. Personally, if I could easily buy zero point 0.1 Bitcoin, I would do it. Like if I could just buy it in my Roth IRA and let it run, I would do it. But I can't, it's just not as easy as I would like. I'd have to transfer money into a new account and all that sort of stuff. So for me personally, if I could easily buy 0.1 Bitcoin, I would. Let it roll forever. All right, what do you think about eVTOL industry, the flying taxis and whatnot? No flying taxis yet really, but government, Toyota. Yeah, this is tough. Are we talking 20 years from now? Are we talking 5 years from now? Right, so it's, how do I word this? I don't have a problem with it. Bro. I'm getting hit with the bots again. Talking licenses, possible commercialization next year. Wow, next couple of years. So then I would kind of look at it as, right, if it's a small cap stock and you own the whole stock market, it'll be there. Now, if you think it potentially has the chance to 1000% over the next few years, I totally get it. Everything is a risk reward play. Are you willing to throw in, let's just call it $3,000 into this industry, and it might do nothing and go to zero, or that 3,000 could go to 300,000, right? So you just have to weigh the risk reward for you compared to other people. I generally won't invest in things like this because if you put money into those specific companies or sectors, you're betting that it's going to outperform the total stock market. And it might. But once it becomes a small cap stock, I'll own it anyway if I own the entire market. But if I truly believed that it was going to outperform the market, which it might, then, I could see throwing it in there. You just want to throw in an amount that you're comfortable with. Because even if it goes up, what if it doesn't go up the same as like the total stock market? Joby went from $6 to 21 stock within a month, so they fell back to 14. Yeah, I mean that's a 100% gain there, which is not bad. But what's it going to do moving forward, right? It's really hard to know when to buy and sell, especially sell with these stocks. Yep. So it could go crazy, man. It could go crazy. Does your risk tolerance say you're okay investing in that? And if it doesn't meet or if it doesn't, what word am I looking for here? If it doesn't perform the same as the total stock market or worse, are you going to be okay with that? Would it be worth having my emergency fund in a company called the River Money Market account? My neighbor recommended it. It pays 4% interest and is FDIC insured, but the interest converts into Bitcoin. I mean, it could be. I don't know anything about that company, so I don't know how reputable it is. I do keep my emergency fund inside of a money market, but it does not pay but it does not pay Bitcoin. So All right, let's see what this housing emergency is. Yo, what's up, Riz? What's up, brother? Riz, did you get to see any of my IRL streams? I have one more unrelated question, different type of question financially. Would you say it's more worth it to indulge in your finances a little bit in your 30s and 40s and buy experiences and nice things? I don't know, let me think. I don't like a boat or something and enjoy stuff like that while being financially responsible. Be more frugal and have bigger nest egg. Well, I did IRL the last few weeks, Riz, on Friday night and Saturday nights. So Marcus, there's a way to actually do all this without sacrificing. You don't have to do an either or. What you just want to figure out is how much do you need to be saving for retirement. Start doing that automatically. Then you'll probably still have extra money. Start moving towards those other things. As long as your financial goals aren't being hindered due to it, right? Like if you were like, all right, I'm saving money for retirement and now I'm going to buy a boat and that boat is going to completely ruin your financial goals, then that boat is a bad idea. But if you have your money going automatically into retirement and you still have extra surplus, a boat or whatever it is could be your goal for the next thing you want to buy. Although I don't recommend buying a boat. But I would join one of those things where for like $400, $500 a month, you could just get on a boat anytime you want. You have to generally find a lake that has that. Like in Arizona, we have those. So you should save for your vacations and other things, but you don't have to necessarily do one and not the other. Oh, cool. I got to school in Yo, you go to school in Arizona? I'm in Arizona. So the lake I'm talking about is it Saguaro? No, it's if you go east. Oh man. Go east to Power and then go up. And there's a lake there. Go north. I guess I was talking more like, is it worth it to indulge in those experiences and be financially responsible still? Yes. Yes. Marcus, this is an amazing question. Right, Riz? Everybody's from Arizona, baby. I wonder if that's why Marcus saw it, though. Because Marcus found me on Instagram. So if Marcus is on Instagram, I wonder if Instagram sent my stuff to him because I'm in Arizona as well. Okay, so this is a great question, Marcus, and I actually had this conversation a few weeks ago, or the last time I was streaming. But what are you going to need between? I found you because of Arizona. Really, Riz? Your retirement probably isn't going to change because you have 8.5 million instead of 7. Right? You're probably going to have more than enough. It's really figuring out how much do you want to spend in retirement and reverse engineering it to figure out what your nest egg is. Riz nerd. I feel like I haven't seen Riz in a while. Where you been, Riz? Still dealing with your injury? I still can't believe you got in an accident, bro. That like makes me sad. Riz, Maniac, Woke, Soft, and Jay. We're either smacking the other team around or we're getting smacked around. Bone pushing up skin a little bit. Man. Does it still have any sort of pain? How 5 stacks have been going recently. We get smacked around. No pain. I stopped taking painkillers and no more pain. I dig it, Riz. What do you think to the way the rich live? All the money on stock market or physical assets, etc., and they just take loans out against it and only pay. Okay, there's a hidden thing that nobody talks about there, Bright. At some point, you have to pay the loan back. I guess you could keep getting new loans against your stuff, but at some point, you have to pay the loan back. So I understand why people do this, Bright, right? Tax-free income and all that sort of stuff when you're living off of theirs. But people will generally take out the loan, invest it, and then pay tax on the returns from the investment. Yes. Elon does it. Bezos does it. All these rich dudes do it. What I don't understand is how they continue to float the debt. I don't know if they're just rolling it from one debt to another. Like, I think the rich dad, poor dad guy says he has over $1 billion in debt. So I think it's fine. If you're living a leveraged life, it can be fine. But for most normal people, it will blow up in their face. But if you know how to do it, and you got the right money people around you, you can. I just personally wouldn't live that way. Until pass away and family don't have to pay if you end with it. That's not how most consumer debt works, though. Because the people who loaned you the money, they still have access, or not access, but they'll still fight for what's theirs during your probate period. They'll file a claim with your estate and eventually have to pay it off. But you know what? Let's figure this out. Does Bezos, is it ZOS, ever have to pay off loans? I don't know what this is going to get us here. Use your assets as collateral. Use that loan money to reinvest. Take out another loan and repeat the process. Okay, but how do you ever pay it off? Yeah, like I only have 2K. I'm obviously not doing it or getting away with it. I understand it's a super rich thing. Yeah, Chat GPT. I don't even know. I think I've been on here once. Let's do this. Chat GPT. Chat GPT. Typically, yes, loans have to be repaid, but he likely pays them off strategically or just rolls them over. The interest is manageable for someone with billions in assets. If needed, he could sell a small amount of stock to pay off. Okay, so yes, they do have to pay it off. Doesn't need to take loans like an average person does. Yeah, at some point you got to pay it off. I have never seen a debt like that, Bright. Tell it the live like the rich scheme. All right, let's do one more. Take out loans, never repay them. Well, yeah, the interest itself. Oh, I guess that's not true. Yeah, I mean it gets taxed as ordinary income. Interest on a, if you just have it in a money market, gets taxed at ordinary income, which would be more than long-term capital gains rates. Ah! The lender claims the collateral. The debt is transferred to your estate. Your estate's executor will work the creditors to pay off the debts. Yeah, do it in the Discord, Bright. Do it in the Discord. I think I have a channel in hold up a sec here. In the stream team. I guess you could post it in random. Yeah, I'm terrible at this, Bright. I have a few buddies of mine who are amazing at talking to this. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. You belong to me. So if you get the screenshot, let me know, because I just personally don't see a way that the loan would never be paid off. Because there's no way banks as a lending institution would ever give out money without the intent of getting it paid off. But please post that screenshot. Please post that screenshot. All right, let's take a look. If you want to join the Patreon and get a thing here, it's pinned. Beep, burp. And then boom. This right here. Posting at random. All right, let's go. Assets, a set of cash. You don't hold your wealth in cash. You keep appreciating assets. Yep. Loan secured against assets. Yep. You use the borrowed money to fund your lifestyle. Yep. Because your assets ideally keep growing faster than the interest rate, you roll over or expand the loan. When you die, your heirs either inherit the assets or sell some to clear debt. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yep, this all makes sense. So eventually they do have to take care of the debt, but with the stepped up basis, that means they won't pay tax to clear out the debt. That makes sense. That makes sense. Very bottom of screenshot. Let's see here. Capital gains, borrowing no tax, estate planning at death. In many places, assets get passed to their heirs with a step-up basis. Yes. So, that what that is saying though is if you buy the total stock market right now and you put $100,000 into it, and then you die and it's worth 1 million. Your heirs get to accept that 1 million with a new $1 million basis instead of your $100,000 basis. It does not appear there's any way to actually get out of the loan. But that's what stepped up basis is talking about, is that you paid 100,000, it's now worth $1 million, you have a 900,000 capital gain. Until you die, then that new basis becomes $1 million. Does that make sense? All right, one sec. Hey, Bright, can I ask you about your Instagram experience? The Instagram? Oh, okay. You just happened to see mine? I love that. Oh wait, you didn't? Oh, Bright. That's right. You're a part of. You're one of Michelle's friends, right? Or you're from that group? Do you play GD as well? Oh, for real? I love that. Yeah. So I used to go into stocks and bonds, but it ended up being me like arguing against people who just want to do individual trades and stuff. And I don't have anything against that. I just think over the long term, for most people, that's a losing strategy. On trading, because they buy things they don't understand because someone else told them to. Halloween last year, only deposited $100 or $200. I'm British, so pounds. Didn't start dropping real money since last week of April. Oh, okay. Hey, that was a good time to invest some money though in April. So that's a little bit different of a scenario. Markets were crazy down in April and May, and they've gone up a lot since then. No, you were still very much in the downs then, because like VTI. Let's look it up. So look at this. April into early May, and then it's a good 15% or so since May. This was the day right here. April 8th, 7th, April 23rd to May 1st. Yeah. Those are not bad times. Those were not bad times to buy in. Those were great times to buy in. Great times. Agreed. Agreed. I tried to buy. I listen. Do not buy this. Bright, what I'm about to show you, do not buy this. But I do wish I would have bought this in May, but Vanguard doesn't allow you to buy stuff like this. If you bought that on April 8th at its closing price or its low price, you have 120% your money. Because I'm low income, I didn't buy and hold. I took $30 profits here and there. That can work. Historically, for the long term, buying and holding is how you make the most money and pay the least amount of tax. If you're low income, you're probably not paying much tax. Hey, do you have one of those, I think it's called an ISA? And you don't pay taxes on your gains? Is that how it works there? Or is that Canada I'm thinking of? Christian Live. Hello, Christian Live. How are you? Are you a real person, Christian? I play the volatile game to make money, like Joby, etc. That can work. It's just hard to keep it going, man. It's really hard to keep playing that game. Really hard. But low income, so until I have the money to actually buy and hold, I keep flipping. All right. Hey, Christian Live, how are you? Hey, it shows you streamed 5 hours ago. Whoa. I do play video games. I know of GTA, but I don't play it. But next year, if and when they release it, I've talked about doing that. But I play Valorant and Rivals. I'm also a married father of four. We had our fourth kid a little over a month ago, so I've been off for that amount of time. But if and when I'm gaming, it's either Valorant or Rivals. Look at how much money GTA 5 made, so they're looking to make money with GTA 6. Oh, yeah. I could possibly game tonight, Yuli. It all depends. I intended to game last night, but I crashed out. I fell asleep when the kids went to sleep, so I did not. What stock would that be? Rockstar Games? Yes. So the one thing to consider here, Bright, is everybody knows that game is coming out. The efficient market hypothesis says that GTA 6 coming out is already baked into their share price. Oh, okay. Crypto Grid Live. Coin Princess Live. Are you guys bots, man? If you want to risk making money off GTA, you want two stocks. Simply my poor previous messages. Yeah, so just remember the efficient market hypothesis, and that the price may be baked in, but if it does well next year, it'll probably go up more. Yes, Yuli, they are easier, but it's tough because I don't have chat in front of me the whole time. I literally have to walk back, see what's going, because Jacob, one of my camera guys who has it, does not read me the messages. That's very true, Bright. If it goes insane, the price will jump. Flops or gets into a controversy where people start backing out on it. It's very true, Yuli. It's very true. All right, so what is T2 out right now? Take-Two Interactive Software. Okay, so they're near an all-time high. Yeah, they're very near their all-time high. Yeah. Whew, year to date. What a run. Wow, it's 1 year is insane too. Man, it'll be interesting to see what they do, for sure. That's very true, Bright. I remember all the controversy for the Harry Potter game. I forgot what it was called, and it still was crazy popular, bro. Crazy. 100 viewers, only League of Legends, CSGO usually pull those numbers. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's good. That's a lot for a 5-year-old game. Or, I'm sorry, a 12-year-old game. How much can you hear the kids through the microphone? Pretty distant? Okay. Oh, man. See, I couldn't even hear the baby crying earlier. Yeah, sometimes I leave my headphones like this so I can hear, but then I get easily distracted. If I can hear them through it, then something's going down. I got to figure out what time to end stream today. Hey, Yuli, did you hear what Frost asked me earlier? So if you didn't know this, Yuli, if you need a budget spreadsheet, it's included in my free. Anybody who joins the Patreon gets access to the free budget worksheet. But he asked me earlier how would I feel about if he were to make a app with the spreadsheet. So it's kind of sick. So GTA 5 this year has grossed 9.5 billion in revenue. That's a crazy amount of revenue for a 12-year-old game. Your powers are mine. Okay. That's still a lot. That's still a lot for an old game. 12 years old, 9.5 million total or billion total. It's pretty good. Yeah. If that's your long-term play, hey, if you can, buy it inside of like a tax advantage account. It'll be crazy, I bet. It will be crazy. Bro, all these people. Spy you. You only buy this. If you're ever considering buying this, it would be during whoa. What happened there? It's right here. Spy you. You only buy this after the market tanks. Like if you were to buy it here. If the market tanks, that's what you look for. No bots getting any time in this chat. It is a leveraged 500 index fund. It's a 4x. So if it goes up, if the 500 index fund or SPY goes up 1%, this goes up 4%. But if SPY goes down 1%, this goes down 4%. So during downturns in the market, after big drops, this is a popular fund. But again, most people don't understand it and should not buy it. You just said it clear as day. Those numbers are easy to understand. It's so crazy people lose money on the stock market. Yeah, it's because the people who lose money are the ones that don't let it ride generally. They buy because someone else told them to, not because they think it's a great buy. Zero financial training. I trade purely on intuition and gut feeling, not paper trail statistics, and I made 400 even with my losses and inefficient systems starting off. Yeah, emotions are a big part of it. Emotions are a big part of why people lose money. All right, Bright. I'm about to head out, brother. We're going to call this stream good. Yuli, if you're still there, have a good one. Anybody still in chat, I love you. I appreciate you being here on my first day back. I will maybe be back tonight, but I think we're back on the grind. We will be streaming every day. I'll probably be back too late for you tonight, Bright, but hey, thanks, Bright. Hope you guys have a good night, good rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.